You are a Muslim, sir.
Yes.
So please help me understand. Earlier, but maybe I'll just stick to this point. Yeah. If you're a Christian, you're not a Christian, you're a Muslim. But let's say I am a Christian. I am a Christian. Let's say I and my family and a few friends, we own a church. Yeah, a church. You as a Muslim, if you come there and for some delusional reason, you may have, people have delusions all over the place. Yeah. For some delusional reason, you think, oh, that building should belong to me. You can have delusional reasons, but whether that building belongs to you or not will depend on evidence on the ground. Yeah, evidence will dictate. If the evidence says that building belongs to the Christians, not as a religious group, some Christians, some particular Christians, and not to Muslims, yet you insist you will take over that building and use physical force in the process, you are not just delusional, but you're also violent. Do you agree?
This being done?
That's exactly what happened with Masjid al-Haram.
Okay.
Masjid al-Haram.
I've just come to 7 minutes ago. I don't even know this conversation.
No problem. The context, just so you get the context. Earlier I asked the question, how can Muhammad bring a just and lasting world peace? And when I asked, he said, the gentleman, one of the friends there, he said, through Islamic Sharia, you can have world peace. That's what he said. I said, look, according to Islamic Sharia, you can take over properties of others. And according to Islamic Sharia, if anyone doesn't give in to this delusion of yours, you will feel the entitlement to kill them. And you call this just and lasting peace? That's clearly not the case. And that is where I pointed to this example, that Masjid al-Haram, in Surah 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayat 217, in the Surah Al-Baqarah broadly talks about the conflict in relation to Masjid al-Haram, but in particular in Ayat 217, it says, maybe I'll begin with Ayat 216. Many Muslims, at least some Muslims, did not want to fight for the building. They didn't want to. But Muhammad wanted to mobilize them to fight for the building. And so in Ayat 216.
No, that's not correct.
Let's read carefully.
That's not
Battle.
Correct, because who built it? As the brother was saying, who actually built it? You said it doesn't belong to the Muslims, yeah? That's
Masjid al-Haram, through all evidence, did not belong to the Muslims.
But it was
in the
built,
7th century, it did
by
not.
A Muslim, though. It was built by a Muslim.
What evidence have you got?
It was built by Ibrahim alayhi salam.
What evidence that you have that Masjid al-Haram was an Islamic property pre-7th century? What evidence have you got?
There's evidence all in the Quran or the Hadith.
The Quran.
I'm not
listen to me
I'm not a scholar.
If you may not be a scholar. Please listen. Please listen. If I come here and I said, hey, look, you bow down before me. I am the king of the UK. You may laugh at me, yeah. You may laugh at me because clearly I'm not the king of the UK. Even if there was a requirement that you need to bow before the king of the UK, I'm not the king of the UK. You know this. And so you'd laugh at me. But I say, look, I am the king of the UK. You better bow before me, otherwise I'll chop your head off. You will say, look, that's violence and you're threatening me. But if I said, hey, look, that's not violence. This is not a threat. This is a fact that I am a king and you are required to bow down. And look at my pocket diary. I have evidence from my pocket diary that I am the king of the UK. Will you accept what is written in my pocket diary?
Sorry. Say that again, sorry.
To prove that I am the king of the UK, if I took a sheet of paper from my pocket where it says, Arul is the king of the UK, will you accept?
No.
Why? Because I am delusional and I am providing a resource from my own delusion. Clearly that won't help, yeah?
Yeah, so just one second.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, just 1 second.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So if I claimed I am the king of the UK and I provided a paper from my pocket saying Arul is the king of the UK, pedestrian priority zone. You need to get off the bike. You can't. Pedestrian priority zone. Yeah, sure. So if I said I am the king of the UK, you need to bow down, and you said, look, you're not the king of the UK. Even if bowing down is needed before the king of the UK, you're not the king of the UK. You're delusional. And if I said no, there's a proof, and I brought my from Arul is the king of the UK, you will laugh at me, won't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I showed you from a paper from my pocket, Arul is the king of the UK, you will laugh at me, yeah?
Yeah.
So, to provide evidence for the delusional claim of Islam, you can't provide evidence from Islamic material. You have to go back to pre-7th century, because the question pertains to pre-7th century. Pre-7th century, what evidence did any of the Muslims have that Masjid al-Haram belonged to the Muslims? What evidence did they have?
Has to be in the Quran or the Hadith. I don't know.
Sure.
But has to
I'll
be in
tell
the
you.
Quran or the Hadith.
I'll
bro.
tell. So in other words,
Everything is in there.
no. The Quran is 7th century.
Yeah.
Quran is 7th
Quran
century.
or the Hadith.
Hadith
or-
is later.
Yeah.
Islamic, both.
Okay.
Like how I can't show a paper from my pocket to say I am the king of the UK, neither can you show a paper from people who are
Yeah,
already
but-
suspected of delusion.
Yeah, but
to say,
the Quran has not been altered or changed in any way, shape, or form.
regardless, it is 7th century.
Yeah. No, but I'm just
I'm
saying,
asking
do you
for
agree
evidence.
That, do you agree to that? It's not been.
It's not true.
Okay.
It's not true. There
Okay,
are
well,
many.
it is.
No
It is.
one has a clue as to how
It is.
even the Quran was put together.
Oh,
If you,
okay. Okay.
no, but that's a different topic.
enough.
The hadiths, one hadith source, Sahih al-Bukhari, gives at least 3 different conflicting accounts for how the Quran was put together.
Yeah.
So no one has a clue who put together the Quran. No one has a clue as to how the Quran was put together. No one has a clue whether all 114 surahs belong to one
I'd
book.
love to have my friend here. He's actually here with me
Sure,
now.
please,
I'm gonna grab
bring,
him now.
bring.
I'm gonna bring it.
Now,
bring
but
him
I'm
now.
in the meantime.
I'm the most least knowledgeable person you'll come to this. To be
No
honest
problem.
with you.
Nah,
You know,
to be
but
honest with you, what I can say, even the Dawa mafia ringleaders here, Hashem,
Yeah.
Maser, they're utterly clueless.
Yeah.
All of them run away from me. All of them. Because
Are
they
they
are,
here today?
oh, they are here, always running away.
Yeah.
No,
Let's
so, yeah, sure. Now,
That's fine.
anyway, the reason I'm talking about all of these things is this. Criminals can't bring about world peace. That is why I'm making this point. The early Muslims, including Muhammad, they were actually criminals, violent criminals. This is why one of the early names that they got, would you believe, was the name Saracens, which literally means thieves.
Where did that come from?
The word literally, etymologically, means thieves. They were thieves. You yourself know. They engaged in raids. Quran testifies. They actually
No,
took...
I don't know that. Where does it say that?
Oh,
I'd love to know that.
so, Surah, for the fact that Muslims engaged in raids, you can go to Surah Al-Anfal, Ayat 1. They ask you, Surah Al-Anfal, Surah 8, Surah 8, Ayat 1. They ask you about the bounties. Bounties of war, Say,
Sorry, 1 second, mate. Yeah, where are you? 1 second. Sorry, give me 1 second.
Sure. So the early Muslims, as recorded in the Quran, were war criminals, taking over other people's wives, ladies, taking over other people's properties, civilian properties, chasing civilians away from their lands, declaring that civilians deserve to die. In every way possible, they were war criminals. So Muhammad clearly cannot bring about world peace. I'm looking forward to this Muslim gentleman to bring his friend to help us understand how that is not the case. So how can Muhammad bring world peace? My dear friends. What do you say? Yes, hello, my Muslim friends. Please help us. Can Muhammad bring about world peace? Do you think Muhammad can bring
I don't want to be recorded.
Why not, sir? So this is a very substantial, very important question. And
I don't want to be recorded.
please, how can Muhammad bring about world peace? Hello, my dear. Please, hello, sir. Muslim friends,
Iraqis. Let's get the Iraqi Shias.
where are the Shias?
They're behind you.
Where the Sheikh? Where the Sheikh fellow is somewhere?
I'm pretty sure one of them is Shia.
Oh no. No. We need their leader.
Authentic.
Mini, please come. Mini.
Yalla.
Hey, Mini, we need you, please. Sorry.
Come on, Abdul, come back, Abdul.
Hello, sir. You're Muslim, sir. Are you at work right now? Your work.
He's a security guard, man. Come on.
Pedestrian priority zone, please. Hello, sir, my dear Muslim friends, please come. How can Muhammad bring about world peace?
He's Muslim.
He is Muslim, yeah?
Yeah, he's from Palestine.
He's from Palestine. Please come here, my dear friend. Please come here. Say again.
He's not smart enough, he said.
He's not smart.